Sarcasm. This is when someone says one thing but means the opposite in a clever way, usually to show scorn, mockery, or criticism. It's understood by the way it's said, and the situation as just reading the words might not make the meaning clear. Black humor. Black humor involves joking about uncomfortable or sensitive topics like death, disability, or violence, aiming to get laughs by shocking people. It requires the comedian to be very careful and aware of the situation, as it's easy to offend. One advantage is that it can help people deal with tough subjects by lightening the mood. No soap radio. It's a prank where the punchline has nothing to do with the rest of the joke, but the person telling it acts like it does by laughing. If the other person laughs along, they're asked to explain the joke, which makes them feel awkward. Satire. This is the use of humor and exaggeration to point out problems or flaws, often in politics, to highlight social issues with irony. It can come from real disapproval from the comedian, or just be used for entertainment. Reaffirming and auto-destructive. These are both forms of self-irony, but they serve different purposes. Reaffirming humor helps people laugh at themselves in a positive way, especially in tough situations, to lift their spirits. Auto-destructive humor, however, is more about putting oneself down and can be linked to low self-esteem. Insult comedy. This type of humor revolves around making fun of others, often using offensive language aimed at other performers or even the audience, especially those who interrupt the show. It can be both spontaneous and planned, with comedians holding events known as roasts. Anti-humor. This is a type of humor that makes people laugh because there's no punchline or real joke at the end. A well-known example is the Shaggy Dog story, where someone tells a long story but doesn't deliver a punchline, leaving the audience feeling puzzled. Dry humor. This type of humor is delivered with little or no expression, where something funny is said without using gestures, and the joke is told in a very direct, serious way. What makes it stand out is how brief, precise, and clever the jokes are, while the speaker shows no emotion. Green humor. It's sexual humor, both explicit and implicit, with a crude nature that often gets laughs from making people feel awkward. The most explicit jokes are aimed at adults, and this kind of humor is understood by people from all walks of life. Observational. This humor focuses on everyday things that are so common, and it's a staple in stand-up comedy. The comedian points out something relatable to the audience, often starting with phrases like, "Have you ever noticed?" White humor. This is the most harmless kind of humor, because it doesn't have anything offensive, and it doesn't rely on making fun of others, or using jokes that could hurt feelings. It's mostly aimed at kids and teens, as it avoids insults or bad intentions. Surreal. This humor is known for being illogical and confusing, and it can be hard to pull off because the comedian has to strike a balance between complete nonsense and surreal humor. Slapstick. Also called physical comedy. It usually involves a lot of real or fake physical harm meant to make people laugh. This kind of humor often puts characters in awkward, painful, or humiliating situations, and because it's so visual, people can enjoy it without needing words. Grotesque humor. This is a visual type of humor often seen in cartoons, where characters' features are exaggerated to the point of being ugly or disturbing. It plays on making people feel a mix of disgust and amusement at the same time.